Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. First tonight, Tasmania's vaccine rollout is rapidly gathering pace, with 12 to 15-year-olds eligible for their COVID jab from Monday. And this week, pharmacies will add Moderna to their stockpile as Public Health closely monitors fresh cases in Queensland and South Australia.
A venue usually teeming with spectators today became the Northwest's first super vaccination clinic as 700 people rolled up their sleeves at the Burnie Arts Centre for a COVID jab. And from Monday, 12 to 15-year-olds can join the queue, with more GP clinics able to add Pfizer to their stockpile for those eligible.
If you're over 60, it's AstraZeneca that you need, and if you're 12 to 59, it's Pfizer that you need.
As Public Health keeps a close eye on COVID cases that have emerged in Queensland and South Australia, travellers currently in Tasmania are required to check the list of high-risk venues in those regions and monitor their health for symptoms. Doctors urging those who haven't already to book in for a COVID vaccine.
So what we really need to do is get our immunisation rates up to, over 80%, closer to 90%, and that'll make us able to cope with an outbreak. If we did get it, we're not going to be overrun in our hospitals and our ICUs.
From this week, pharmacies across the state will begin to administer Moderna, but the Guild hopes the same delays experienced with AstraZeneca doses won't be repeated this time around.
So we're hoping to hear over the weekend which pharmacies will be doing vaccines first, and hoping that those vaccines will be added to the list that pharmacists can administer.
Tomorrow, a community clinic will open up here at Princess Wharf 1, with clinics in Sorell and Rokeby to follow later this week, targeting people in the 16 to 59 age cohort who have so far been unable to access a vaccine. A number of youth clinics will start up from next month in locations across the state. Ainsley Kosh, 7 Tasmanian News.
The owner of Launceston's popular Sporties bar has been forced to apologise after an offensive sign was placed outside the venue yesterday afternoon. A Change.org petition was created last night, so far gathering almost 2,000 signatures requesting a formal apology from the venue, but not before a second sign was placed outside. In a social media statement, Sporties owner and Launceston City Councillor Nick Daking apologised and said the sign had been removed as soon as he was made aware. Archaeologists are uncovering more of Hobart's colonial history right in the heart of the city. The public taking a tour of the dig for the first time today, looking at convict relics and various mysteries from centuries ago.
Surrounded by concrete and the city's busy roads, unearthing pieces of the past.
Well, it's really a unique story about Hobart's past that we're getting from this location. It really encapsulates sort of the very early industrial part of Hobart's existence here.
Here at Mac Point, a former lumberyard with some Aboriginal material, painting a picture of early colonial settlement and convict life.
The lumberyard was really the core of industry in Hobart in the early 19th century. It's connected to all the old structures and all the old buildings around the place.
With the site revealing some mysterious and surprising artefacts.
Yeah, what was striking about this site, and we didn't expect to find, was a large amount of teeth. Teeth from very small native rodents through to very, very large domestic European animals, whales' teeth, seals' teeth, whole jaws.
Next door, a railway turntable from 1915. After years of research and 6 months of excavating, the whole area opening to the public for the first time today.
I think it's important that Hobartians understand and can touch and feel some of the artefacts that are coming out of the ground. It's their history, it gives context to the site.
With more hidden treasures left to find in the ongoing project.
There's a lot that we just don't know about Hobart's past and certainly about the Aboriginal component to that as well. And so it really contributes a lot about how we understand how Hobart operated and how the lives of everyday people was.
Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmanian News.
And more than 70 players have celebrated the ESC 8 Ball Association's 50th anniversary at a function in Longford. It started in 1971 and currently has 150 players across 20 teams in the Northern Midlands. Members say one of the biggest changes they've witnessed in the sport is the inclusion of junior players.
Eska's probably going the best in the junior field and bringing a few through, and they'll populate through the system.
My dad sort of taught me because we had a table at the back, and yeah, loved it since.
Players believe the old rivalry in 8-ball has softened into a more social game. The final design for a pedestrian underpass at Campbelltown can now be viewed by the public. The $6 million project will be built under the Midland Highway, aiming to improve the safety of people crossing the busy road. The design includes lighting for 24-hour access, as well as a low gradient ramp for those using electric scooters, wheelchairs or prams. It can be viewed at the Northern Midlands Council offices and the town's hospital until September 23. Construction is expected to begin next month. Extinction Rebellion protesters have stormed the Premier's office in Launceston, displaying placards and dropping banners outside the building this morning, demanding climate action. Among its requests, the group is calling on the state government to declare a climate emergency and end native forest logging.
UTAS Stadium was a sea of red today as Bracknell won its first NTFA flag since 1997. The Redlegs holding on for a 19-point victory against the minor premiers South Launceston, capping off a stunning season comeback.
After a 24-year drought, success tastes so much sweeter.
It's a sea of red and white out on the ground.
The faithful jubilant, the NTFA's hallowed crown returned back to Bracknell. Population 450, but tonight their voices will be loud. The Redlegs were quick out of the blocks through an early 1-2 punch.
Oh, Jake Hewitt! Oh, what a fantastic goal!
Desperation from the Bulldogs helped contain the lead, but the bounce of the ball did not go their way.
He bounces through!
Bracknell up by 22 points heading into the main break. Whatever the message was in the Dogs camp, it seemed to work. Back-to-back majors spelled signs of a resurgence.
Tom Beaumont, it's got the distance.
It was tense, the contest brutal as both sides tried to regain the ascendancy, but it would be the men in red who would come out on top, marking a stunning season turnaround. Fourth at the beginning of finals, first at the end.
30 out, there it is! It's all over!
This is one to save it.
Penguin will enter next week's Northwest Football League decider full of confidence after a crushing 65-point win over Wynyard. Meanwhile, in the SFL, Huonville ran rampant against Lindisfarne in the preliminary final at North Hobart Oval. The Blues struggled to hold off the Lions, who booted a whopping 15 majors in a 66-point thumping. They'll be hoping to avenge last week's loss to Cygnet when the pair meet again in next week's grand final. It went down to the dying minutes and hinged on the results of two separate matches, but the Glenorchy Knights have been crowned the state's Premier League champions after a gripping 1-0 victory over Launceston. The side was level with Devonport heading into the final round of matches, though the Strikers suffered a shock 2-1 loss to Kimbra, sealing their fate and handing the Knights the ultimate prize.
And he has secured it. It will be the Glenorchy Knights who are league champions.
It ends Devonport's 3-year reign at the top. Tasmanian horses Mystic Journey and Stiller Star have each started their spring racing season with a top 3 finish. Stiller Star was firming as a real contender in race 6 at Flemington, remaining at the front of the pack for most of the contest. Though it was Mystic Journey who turned back the clock, storming from 11th spot. But it was not enough to challenge Tura, who made it 4 wins on the trot.
And Giraffe, gee, she's doing a good job. Beat Mystic Journey, Stiller Star, and Love Sensation. Followed.
Mystic Journey finished second, while Stiller Star took out third.
Good evening, everyone. Temperatures above average today, with Hobart reaching 19 degrees, 18 in Launceston, and Burnie and Devonport both 16. Across the state, Flinders Island and Friendly Beach is the state's top of 21 degrees, 19 in St Helens, Grove and Ouse both 18, King Island and Wynyard 16 and 11 in Lyowini. Extensive middle cloud can be seen across the state today ahead of a cold front to the southwest. Further out, we can see that cloud extending across Tasmania with cold speckled cloud following it, extending across the Bight, southern Western Australia and ocean waters to the south. Tomorrow's chart shows the cold front passing to the east of Tasmania with another front to follow. A high builds over southern Western Australia, extending a ridge to the southwest of Tasmania. Northwest to westerly winds tomorrow 20 to 30 knots, easing 15 to 20 knots about the east, south and west during the morning, swells reaching 3 to 5 metres in the west and south. And there is a strong wind warning in place for all coastal waters. A shower or two and 13 in Hobart and Richmond tomorrow, ooze reaching 12. Launceston a top of 15 degrees, showers and 14 in Devonport, partly cloudy and 12 in Deloraine. Burnie 14 with clearing showers tomorrow, Strawn and Curry both 12. And in the east, developing showers and 15 in St Helens, 14 in Swansea and Whitemark reaching 13. Looking on to Monday, showers about the south and east, possibly extending into central areas, snow falling to 800 metres. Fine apart from possible light showers on Tuesday with widespread morning frosts. And on Wednesday, fine again with possible light showers and patchy morning frosts. 19 in Perth tomorrow, a few showers in Adelaide, partly cloudy and 18 in Canberra, sunny in Sydney and Brisbane and 33 degrees in Darwin. And currently Hobart 12 and mostly clear and partly cloudy and 12 in Launceston and Devonport. And Kim, before we go, apparently there's something unusual happening in the skies on the east coast.
There is indeed, that's right, Chelsea. Well, Bicheno has come up with a novel way to combat the COVID interstate tourism downturn and draw Tasmanians to the region. Stunning laser light shows, part of Bicheno Beams, are on every night this month at the town's Lions Park. While you're there, you can also download a soundtrack and listen via headphones to avoid disturbing the penguins. The free event begins at 6:30 each night. And that's all we have time for this Saturday, September 11. Thanks for joining us tonight. See you tomorrow.